Sentient Gender System Trademark is a future-ready AI framework for ethical policing. So why does policing need a new system? AI alone just can't solve gender violence or, public distrust. The system really has to evolve into a conscious, sentient platform. Sentient Gender System Trademark brings together AI, ethics, and neuroscience. The core pillars of SGS are, artificial intelligence plus neuroscience, quantum physics plus Vedic ethics, and trauma-informed justice plus conscious policing. Gender as a living system means it's not just binary. It's actually fluid and always evolving, shaped by biology, culture, trauma, and identity. AI needs to detect exclusion patterns, not just stick to categories. So, let's talk about gendered bias in policing. There's often a masculinity bias with a stronger focus on control rather than care. Sometimes emotional freezing is actually misread as lying, which, can be a huge problem. And, unfortunately, marginalized survivors are often disbelieved or even mocked. Intersectional trauma is really important to understand. Gender, caste, religion, disability, and class all intersect, creating unique experiences for individuals. It's crucial that we recognize this multi-layered bias within our systems. And honestly, AI needs to be trained using intersectional datasets to address these complexities. When we look at policing, both the left and right brain play a role. The left brain is all about logic, control, and authority, while the right brain brings empathy, emotion, and tone into the mix. SGS, or Survivor Guidance Systems, strive to balance both hemispheres to ensure an ethical response. Alright, let's talk about the midbrain and trauma. The midbrain actually activates when we're under distress, and it can override our speech centers. Freezing, dissociation, and memory gaps. These are real neural responses. So SGS trains officers to recognize these trauma states. Now moving on to the vagus nerve and trust building. The vagus nerve is what regulates our sense of safety and emotional calm. It's interesting, but things like tone, breath, and posture really do affect how a victim responds. That's why SGS includes vagus activation protocols for de-escalation. Next up is the Ajna chakra and intuition. The Ajna is like our inner command center of perception. It helps support ethical clarity and emotional attunement. So, SGS integrates a simple 2-minute daily Ajna chakra reset. So, let's talk about ethical AI design principles. Sentient AI evolves through empathy and, moral data. SGS is not robotic. It actually responds to emotional contexts, co-learns with officers, and, it doesn't override them. Now, the bias to balance module is pretty interesting. It detects unconscious bias in reports and behavior. Every day, it sends prompts for inner correction, and it encourages ethical self-reflection without any kind of punishment. Next up is the Justice with Dignity module. It autocorrects gender-insensitive language in FERS and tracks emotional sentiment in interrogation tone. Plus, it suggests alternate, more respectful phrasing. So, let's talk about mirror neuron simulation. Imagine a VR role reversal, where the officer actually experiences the situation as the victim. This approach really enhances empathic resonance, using real-time biofeedback. Over time, it helps train those neural empathy circuits, making empathy a learned skill. Next up is the quantum logic engine. Every police decision, no matter how small, actually collapses potential futures. Think of the wave function. Just one tone can either traumatize or heal. The SGS system models this ethical multiverse using what it calls karma trees. Now we have the Karma and Dharma dashboard. This tool tracks decisions, tones, and patterns, all through an ethical lens. It's really about showing ethical growth, not just the number of cases solved. And each officer gets a weekly justice vibration report to reflect on their progress. So the 3-tier SGS training model covers cognitive awareness, which means really understanding things like gender, bias, and trauma. Then there's neural embodiment, which involves techniques like biofeedback and voice coaching. And finally, ethical alignment, which is all about Dharma diaries and Vedic ethics. Daily neuro reset practices include things like vagus breathwork, ajna recalibration, and, ethical journaling prompts. These practices help keep everything balanced and aligned each day. The idea here is that the officer acts as a conscious node, meaning every action they take affects the public emotional field. SGS actually maps officer influence as a kind of quantum vibration, and there's real-time tone coaching available for field use. Alright, so let's talk about the field-level deployment strategy. This involves the SO dashboard, which is designed to focus on empathy, ethics, and tone. There's also case-wise pattern tracking, to really keep tabs on trends and responses. And of course, community engagement scorecards are part of the mix. Now moving on, there's a citizen-centered interface. People can submit complaints using their voice or video, which is pretty convenient. They also get to choose the officer's gender or identity, making the process a bit more comfortable. Plus, there's an emotion scale so folks can express their level of distress. Next up is the quantum entanglement field. Basically, every interaction between a survivor and an officer creates a long-term energetic impact. Language and body language get entangled with karmic timelines, and, AI is able to read these in real time. So, trust maps and dignity zones are next up. We're talking about live empathy maps by location, which help us really see where support is most needed. By identifying trust deficits and creating healing circles, communities can be empowered with feedback systems that actually make a difference. Now, let's look at Telegram-style broadcasts. These include weekly survivor appreciation logs, positive policing stories, and officer empathy highlights. It's a way to keep everyone informed and, honestly, to celebrate progress. The Citizen Ally Volunteer Program is all about trained civilians who accompany victims, offering emotional anchoring and legal guidance. Volunteers are certified through a short SGS ethics course, making sure everyone's prepared to help out in meaningful ways. So let's talk about the AI judiciary interface. Imagine timeline to trauma analytics, designed specifically for court use. There are, visual empathy maps available for each case, and a predictive trauma impact model to help guide decisions. Moving on, youth integration and cadet programs are on the rise. Schools are setting up empathy labs, and students can experience VR scenarios as survivors. Plus, there are gender harmony role-play activities to foster understanding. And now the future of quantum policing. Officers in this new era act as ethical field tuners. Every tone, believe it or not, collapses quantum timelines. SGS, in essence, means waveform ethics in action. So here's the global Dharma grid model. It's where local cultural ethics blend with a universal conscience. The model is scalable, from India all the way to global agencies. It's rooted in our shared humanity and scaled up by AI. Think of the police officer as a yogi. They're not just enforcers, but actually healers of karmic ruptures. Every fur, in this sense, is like a sacred ritual of rebalancing. The uniform stands for integrity, presence, and, dignity. And now a final invocation. Let AI be trained to feel. Let policing be a path of purpose. Let justice honestly be a living frequency. Sentient Gender System, TM, it's a new system, a new science, and above all, a new spirit of policing.